Cosmopolitan, a cocktail. A gin martini is a gin martini. A sidecar is a sidecar. It's a cocktail. So the framework from that bittered sling then moved into the idea of spirit-focused drinks, and that's where you get the gin martini and the Manhattan. And then, let's be honest, there's a huge conglomerate of vodka-tinis, but those folks are now coming full circle back to gin because gin has improved so much. Gin, they call it bathtub gin during Prohibition because literally it was done very, very quickly and people just threw a bunch of stuff into it to make it taste better. The classic example of getting around horrific gin, that's why you have cocktails like the Bee's Knees. The first cocktail to use honey simple syrup. Or you've got the Last Word, which incorporated maraschino liqueur and green chartreuse and lime juice. So gin, prior to Prohibition, was excellent. All of our cocktails were based around brown and clear. Prohibition hits, you gotta get creative. You have to mix it in your bathtub or into your sink with whatever's available to just kind of cut away the horrible flavor profile. Texas gins, I'm super stoked about. I'm a big gin connoisseur, and I think that Texas gins are starting to give the London Dry category a real run for their money. So, moving forward, the great thing about today is I'm going to talk you through what's known as a classic sour. And the proof that a bartender is worth his salt is if he can make a good sour. It's like a great chef should be able to make a good over easy egg, correct? If they can't do that, they're probably not going to be very good making the duck confit. So if you really want to put a bartender to his task, say, I'd love to have a sour. And a sour is simple. It goes back to the bittered sling. We use a spirit. We use something sweet like a liqueur, and we use something citrusy. And it's typically done in proportions of 2 to 1 to half, or equal parts. Or if you want to make a small chilled shot, you just chop everything down to a ½ ounce. Those are classic proportions for a classic sour. We're using all Texas product today. So in your clear first little container, that's going to be the wonderful Dripping Springs vodka. As you build this and open these up, just be careful, these lids are a little cranky. Dripping Springs vodka, 2005, the Kelleher brothers. First batch of vodka shipped in 2007. They are the second oldest vodka brand in Texas. They're also the third licensed distillery in Texas. From the concept of Dripping Springs, they expanded out to Dripping Springs Distilling, and they acquired several brands. Names like Republic Tequila, Republic Whiskey, Republic Spirit Blends. They also own Paula's Liqueur, fabulous. Z Tequila, and 1876 vodka and bourbon, and the Martine honeysuckle liqueur. So they are now producing all that product at their distilling company. They've acquired all those. So there's still the Dripping Springs brands, and then the Dripping Springs Distilling in 2018 brought in all those Texas brands to consolidate them, and they're all wonderful products. The Paula's orange liqueur in the second container is fantastic, a wonderful product. It is made from neutral corn spirit, so there's nothing manipulated about it. They take all these wonderful fruits. She does grapefruit, orange, and lemon. They simply macerate to give it flavor. Then they sweeten it with real pure cane sugar, which is great, and they cut it down with, they claim, and I'm sure it's true, Texas rainwater from the hill country. Very, very pure. And so it's a very, very concentrated, sweet, but balanced liqueur. The Paula's orange liqueurs are great, just a shot into a glass, top it off with soda, orange twist. It's delightful. And then simply lime juice. So we've got our three components: spirit, Dripping Springs vodka; sweet, the Paula's orange liqueur; and the citrus, which is the lime juice. So we're going to build this cocktail. So you have a wonderful plastic cocktail shaker. You'll just take the cap off and just dump the water out on the ground because your water, unfortunately, got a little bit too, the ice melted. All right? And so that you don't sling anything on yourself, be sure you put the cap on. All right? Then go ahead and take the entire top of the shaker off, set it aside. All right, so the way you build a cocktail is get the spirit on ice as quickly as possible because it will help melt and dilute. So pour on your Dripping Springs vodka. Then go ahead and pour on the Paula's Orange. And then lastly, use the wonderful fresh lime juice from H-E-B. And make sure you tightly put the cap back on. And I get this question all the time. Do you shake or do you stir? Anytime that you add citrus and liqueur with spirit, you always shake because they're different weights and they'll just stratify and it'll taste like anything. When you're making a gin martini, it's pure, there you go, it's pure spirit, you want to stir it to chill it down and bleed water. So just give it a good hard shake. All right, that's good. You guys are killing it. So you've got this beautiful saucer coupe. So take your saucer coupe, simply uncap the top, just a small cap, which by the way serves as a 1 ounce pour. Strain into your glass. You've got a wonderful lime wedge that has been cut so it fits on the corner. And this is what we call, or what I call the 1836, which is the day that Texas declared its independence. So cheers. So this is a great example of a little boozy kick, a little sweet, and a little citrus. And that's a classic sour, so cheers. Yeah. So again, for those of you that need a little punch up after a long night of probably too much of something, this will cure you. This is a great hair of the dog cocktail. Cheers. You guys are great. Thank you.